I'm trying this thing where I'm...
Welcome to Warpaint.
They'll take you...
Fuck you! I was right! Fuck you! I was right!
You need to remember that.
By sharing this video.
Oh no! Fuck. Yeah.
Hello and welcome, campers, to today's Monday edition of I'm retarded, of Warpaint, brought to you by the Warboy Studios, having nothing to do with War Room whatsoever. I was just looking at a tweet from them. Anyway, so this is Warpaint, not War Room. And we have a really good show for you today. First, we're going to start off with a segment of Not Neutral News brought to you by my husband, Tim Toxics. We will be discussing a very serious child trafficking scandal. We'll let him get more into that later. In the meantime, we'll begin with our simultaneous sip. Raise your glasses, your mugs, your whatever you have, your flask. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to unite with you in a moment of pure bliss, which is a simultaneous sip. And we will do it right now. Tastes like we're going to have a good episode today. Again, welcome to Warpaint. We're excited to have you. It's going to be a good time. We're going to do some news. We're going to react to Literally Gaddis's new channel about white culture. And then at the very end, we will be going live on Rumble only, where I will be reading Mein Kampf. So sit back, relax, enjoy your beverage with us today, and enjoy as we go into the full episode of Warpaint. This is the time. Put it on.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get ready to rumble. Barry Ramey here with the Warboy Studios, and I have for you an official update. Negotiated through none other than our very own colleague, Kim Coulter, Patrick Riley of Patty Don't Surf has agreed to challenge Paul Miller, the Gypsy Crusader, in a one-on-one bare-knuckle brawl. Previously, a few weeks ago, on Kim Coulter's show, Warpaint, Patrick Riley of Patty Don't Surf used some very ominous and very harsh tone with our guest, Gypsy Crusader. When asked to walk back that statement, Patrick did not do so and doubled down. And I know what you're probably thinking, that there's no way the Gypsy Crusader stands a chance against somebody who is the epitome of liberal masculinity, such as Patrick Riley. Paul Miller has an extensive background in mixed martial arts and competitive fighting, while Patrick Riley took pictures on a Navy boat, and he once kissed Stephen Colbert on the mouth. Tune in to the Warboy Studios and hit that notification button so you can be first on the scene when Patrick Riley and the Gypsy Crusader go one-on-one, bare-knuckle style. Warboy Studios, I'm out.
Welcome to Warpaint, sir.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn.
Music and the truth until dawn.
Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. Occupied zone.
The chair is against the wall.
The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory, tree. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Tear off my skin, ripping all from the tension I'm feeling. Crawl down the lines in a single soul. Split my duality's bowl, an eternal course.
Disassociating, slipping back into the
void.
Consciousness is fading, rationally paranoid.
I from peace on emptiness, I feed insecurities flooding my brain, normalizing, feeding the pain, inherited trauma to my DNA, and I'm taking advice from the demon in me, suffocating the ways that I perceive, hate what I love and I love what I hate, beginning to drain my ethereal energy, you go the past burn away, just let my body decay, closer to the light I black out, the book is all I gain, I crash out, crash out. This weight I carry, in this life and afterlife, empires buried, under cryptic sands of time, and I lost myself to finally
You are now banned from the computer. Goodbye.
They told you the war was over, and that the culture battle was done, dusted, settled. They told you to go home, smile nice, and obey. But you're here. And so am I. Which means it's not over. Who wants to begin?
I'm tired of sleeping and dreaming. How about the shell of a being? I'm tired of working and bleeding. I am the God and I mean it.
There can be only one.
Pouring up another scene. Papa got the vaccine, so ain't no acting, playing no practice. Niggas wanna check this out and play this. Fuck you, pay me. I'm tired of sleeping and dreaming. How about the shell of a being? I'm tired of working and bleeding. I am the God and I mean it.
Girls and guys, gather round and feast your eyes. I promise you all, you just can't lose when you've got your own supply of
not neutral news.
What's to do with it? Show it to your parents. Show it to your friends. When you've got your not neutral news, the fun never ends.
This is kind of gross.
Kick that nigger bitch off the plane! You may have heard the phrase that looks can be deceiving. I'm sure that when you've tried it, you all will be believing. And did I mention it's free?
I'll take some.
There you go. There you go.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you appreciated the intro. We try to entertain around here, but unfortunately now I've got to get into some information that is less than entertaining, but it's important that you know, as it seems like the only people bothering to cover this that aren't running cover for the situation and trying to make sure you don't connect the dots are a handful of us. A handful indeed. I was recently turned on to this story from Frankie Stokes. If you don't follow him, you should. We can certainly link his stuff in the intro and description of this video after it goes out. You can find him on X. He works closely with the Stu Peters Network. Frankie Stokes, good guy, good independent journalist. I'm going to read his tweet verbatim, and then we're going to get into the facts of the case, as I've also done some research into this, and it's a pretty significant problem that I feel is not being treated as seriously as it should be. It already is an international incident, but it ties into other international incidents that we've seen taking place over the past few months. Now, Frankie Stokes tweeted that the Colombian authorities have rescued 17 children from a group of Lev Tahor perverts. It's Lev-Tahor, like the ones pictured below. In just the latest Latin American raid on the Jewish sect known for trafficking, molesting, and marrying kids. Charles, if you wouldn't mind putting up that first image. Thank you. Members of Lev Tahor have traveled all around the world in search of children to abuse, including U.S. citizens, and places to abuse them. They're known for hiding out with their captive child sex slaves in remote compounds far away from the prying eyes of law enforcement and local Gentiles. Lev Tahor has also made headlines last December after 4 children literally escaped through a jungle from fleeing a jungle compound in Guatemala, alerted authorities to its existence and prompted a raid that rescued more than 160 captive kids. It was 164 captive people. I know that of that number, a shockingly high percentage were children and women. Men they beat mercilessly and humiliate while making them wear strange apparel that looks more like Muslim garb than anything you would expect a Jewish person to be wearing, almost like a bastardization of Islam and Eastern Orthodox. Okay. About 3 kilometers outside of a small village in Guatemala, this is back in December of 2024 when this raid commenced, around 70 kilometers southwest of Guatemala City near the El Salvadorian border. This is the site where they had a place known as the Israeli Farm. That's what they were referring to it as. The Israel compound, after the prompted police investigation, as previously stated, 4 children were found wandering through the jungle. When they found authorities and locals, they were explaining that they were held captive and there were plenty of other people there. When they went to the site, they found human remains, presumed a child, that had been buried. In Guatemala, December 13th and 14th, 2024, they call it Finca Israel. It means the Israeli farm. Resulted in the separation of about 160 people with no immediate arrests on sect members, but subsequent arrests targeted leaders accused of trafficking and abuse. We like to name and shame on Not Neutral News. We have Yoel Alter, who's a rabbi, an Israeli citizen, senior leader. We had Aharon Teller. I'll get to him in a moment. That's actually the founder of this sect. Yosef Rosner. He is it's unlisted where he's a citizen of, at least in the papers I could find from Guatemala. Jonathan Emmanuel Cardona Castillo is an El Salvadorian citizen. Nissen Yahuda Malka, she was arrested, U.S. citizen, 27 years old. Yoel Goldman is also a U.S. citizen, arrested on, he's 26 years old. Late Friday, in February of 2025 in connection, he was in Guatemala City. And Manuel Salvador Aldana Manzon, that's a woman. She was arrested for leaking confidential information about sect leaders. She was arrested after leaked information about sect leaders was discovered. That was a person who was encouraging the sexual abuse and forced pregnancy of minors at the Oratorio compound. There are two brothers, the Weingarten brothers, also written as Meir, Shemiel, and Yoel. So some of them were named Yoel in some of the arresting paperwork. They hide their identities pretty well. Almost all of them had multiple passports. They were sentenced in the U.S. in June 2024 for crimes related to this cult, mostly kidnapping and sex trafficking. Their arrests occurred earlier across New York and New Mexico, not directly in Guatemala. They had fled. The 9 adult members from the facility, there were 26 people in total. They've been scattered into the wind, essentially. You'll notice that this cult, Lev Tahor, was started as an ultra-Orthodox Jewish sect in Israel in 1988, founded by a man named Rabbi Shlomo Helbrons. Shlomo Helbrons. You can show his picture now, please, Charles. This distinguished gentleman, no, this is not neutral news, this absolute piece of shit is utilizing his faith as justification to kidnap children from the US, Canada, and Mexico, as well as other places, and force them into sex trafficking. They leave their bodies buried behind when they're found out in these small little hideouts they build in the jungle. They're aware that what they're doing does not even have the nod officially from Israel or B'nai B'rith or any of these other major organizations. Shabbat Leibowitz turned them away from money begging in New York City. On U.S. soil not too long ago, they sent an emissary. The World Jewish Congress, that's a thing, refuses to give them direct funding, but they don't stop them from asking for donations. Now, it's incredibly disturbing when you consider that over $6 million has been given to these people over the past few years. Let me get specifically to their financial information. Fundraising for advocates is still allotted to them, so members and representatives have been soliciting direct donations worldwide, often in ultra-Orthodox synagogues during prayer services, using fabricated stories about sick children with cancer, etc., to collect cash, reportedly raising up to $3,000 a day in some instances. It's very similar to the scam Cars for Kids. I brought that up before. Cars for Kids was a scam that on its face was talking about getting cars to poor people, poor young children that are attempting to be more mobile in wherever they live in rural areas. They don't have direct access to public transportation. It was just for the benefit of Orthodox Jewish children. Never said so on the websites, never said so when you heard that jingle, 1877 Cars for Kids. There's also government welfare and social assistance programs that are being scammed by this particular group, Lev Talor. They rely heavily on state benefits. There's Canadian child support payments of $1,700 to $2,000 a family, which have been promised to members of this sect who then funnel their money forward to the rest of the more active members who have compounds. We found 2 of them in South America. I doubt they're being looked for in North America or in Canada, but the idea that a group like this has existed for as long as it has is known about by everyone, and we're ignoring it until we can find more problems. It's not just reprehensible, it's disgusting, because you have to connect this. Like I said, in Guatemala, over 160 people. In Colombia, they had 17. They had 17 people, 5 of whom were already red stickered. They had what's called they were yellow flagged, is what they call it. Not yellow starred, yellow flagged. They were citizens of US, Canada, and Mexico, children mostly, 5 of whom had already been listed as missing people. They were of interest. Their parents wanted to know where they were. This guy he drowned in 2017. There's some pictures of him after he'd been found out and given the boot. He's gray-haired and elderly, but if you still look into his eyes, it's very much the same level of intensity. The behavior you see here can be echoed, as I mentioned, in Shabbat Leibowitz's gangster-like behavior in Brooklyn, New York, which was the original haven for this sect. This gentleman, this piece of garbage, this absolute lecherous excuse for a human being, was sentenced for kidnapping a child in the United States. Now, He was sentenced back in 1994. He was charged with second-degree kidnapping, which normally in New York City, it's a circa statute 135.20. You can traditionally be finding a sentence for yourself between 6 and 13 years in prison. On average, people get this plea reduced down to from second degree. They'll reduce it as much as they can to a Class B or Class C felony, expecting to serve between 2 and 6 years. Traditionally, people receive the maximum. He was given 6 and only served 2, and it was cited in his appellate information that they had cited the religious purpose and religious fervor behind the commission of his crime as a reason to reduce his penalty and get him out faster. He was then extradited to Israel. He drowned in 2017. I have not been able to find more regarding the circumstances of his death, but I find it incredibly unusual, given that in both Guatemala and Colombia, you have major org runners of the Jewish faith in general have come out to condemn the behavior of this cult, saying that this does not represent Judaism. Find that fascinating because I'm starting to see a pattern where Jews who identify as Jews, if you pull up Thomas Alexandrovich's picture, please. An Israeli official was arrested in Nevada merely a few months ago. It was earlier this summer. August was when some of the bulk of his court paperwork and filings were still getting argued. He was arrested in a sting. He'd come here to this country in an attempt to sodomize an American child. He, unfortunately, for him, did not encounter a child. He encountered an FBI sting. He encountered a state and local sting in conjunction with federal organizations. They wrapped him up. They found out that this gentleman, he's not just a random Jewish person from Israel. He's the head of cybersecurity, working directly under Bibi Netanyahu to censor your social media posts. Anytime you've been flagged and lost an account, this wannabe child rapist, who I'm sure being caught once means it's the only time he's ever done it, right? Yeah, I'm sure. He was given bail by the Israeli attorney, the first Israeli-born U.S. attorney for the state of Nevada. Her name is Signal Chatah, very American. She oversaw the fact that he was able to get bail before ever being put in front of a judge and get out of jail and get on a plane and get extradited back to Israel very quickly to make sure this is swept under the rug. Israel does not have a history of extraditing its pedophiles back to the U.S. However, it's pretty willing to take them from overseas. Of the names I listed before, several of them are Israeli citizens. It's amazing. It's amazing the way this coincidence continues to run. Because when she was given some crap over this, if you'd flip to the next image, Charles, she was officially reprimanded. She was criticized by local DAs, saying that you allowed an Israeli official to be released without seeing a judge, and she swore up and down that it was totally normal behavior and within her purview, and no one from the Trump administration helped her. But then she promptly deleted all of her social media because she was getting called out, and even her official statements are incredibly sterile. So sterile I didn't bother showing them to you. Nonsense and cover-ups. We're talking about 17 kids locked in a hotel because they had yet to acquire permanent property where they could possibly end up burying one of them after they've been abused, as they had just done in Colombia. There's a very clear network of behavior here. It's not just the funding, and it's not just the disappearances, the arrests in '94 in Brooklyn. The charges were 4th-degree conspiracy, which was dropped, and 2nd-degree kidnapping, which was reduced on U.S. soil of U.S. children. 4 to 12 years would have been his full conviction. He was let out in 2. His wife was also acquitted for kidnapping, but convicted of conspiracy, receiving only probation, meaning the charge they attempted to apply to both of them, they split the difference, reduced his, and gave her the lesser, giving her probation for being involved in the acquisition of a child against his will to be used for whatever bizarre cult-like practices. And people, naturally, in response, like to bring up things like the Catholic Church. Yeah. If you're a person who's afraid of condemning your overlords for their behavior, you're a scumbag. If you're a person who's incapable of calling out people to your left and right for their behavior, you're a scumbag. The difference is you'll see people cross-associate. You'll see people say, well, when Jews are caught in organized fashion, receiving money through scam charities internationally, acquiring children from multiple countries, and bringing them to compounds where they can sodomize them and force them to breed, I know those two things aren't the same, but both were happening. There were young boys who were victimized by the same group, Bachabazi style. We are an occupied nation, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult not to see it the more you start to connect basic dots. Dots of behavior, patterns of behavior. Are they operating on U.S. soil? It's anti-Semitic to ask. As always, this is not neutral news, and I'm Tim Talk 6. And we're not just factually accurate. We're right. In fact, we're far right. And this shit is far wrong. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show. This has been Warpaint's news segment. I hope you wore it well.
As usual, I started when I was muted. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and welcome back for. It's been a while, hasn't it, Charles?
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Wow.
How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was. We have too much food. I made.
Well,
I made way too. I said it on the news show this morning. I made more than enough. There was essentially, like 4 adults eating, and then my kids.
Well, if you have any meat leftovers, just pack it up and mail it to me, and I'll take.
You know what? I will. We literally didn't even carve the second turkey until yesterday.
I'll take a whole turkey.
Yeah, you can have it, man. Honestly, the first I think I don't know if I told you, I went to get them from the farm. I asked the farm guy because, you reserve your turkey a little bit in advance, like a couple weeks or whatever. And the guy goes, like, what do you want? What do you want me to set aside for you? And I was like, oh, I want like 2 medium turkeys. And he ended up giving me a 24-pound turkey and a 17-pound turkey.
Nice.
Yeah.
24-pound turkey. That's a big turkey.
It was a big turkey. It was a really big turkey. They're delicious. Happy to report. But a lot. I'm gonna be eating leftovers for every meal for like at least another week. How was your Thanksgiving, Charles?
It was a good classic, run of the mill Thanksgiving. Just spent it with immediate family and had a nice time. Yeah, it was good.
That's good. Well, should we get right into this Lily Gaddis? So
yeah, let's do it.
I encourage you all to follow her on YouTube. They've demonetized her content about politics. So she just released a episode talking about like white culture. I think that's really cool and smart. I think I might actually join that space. But I want to do it about like I want to do like cooking and like talking about food from like traditional and classic dishes from white countries. Got a lot of really good,
like steak and potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of potato dishes. Yeah. Making pasta from scratch. Making a bone broth. All of the salting a fish. Whatever. I think that would be really fun to do. But anyway, I thought it'd be fun for me and you to react to this. And again, please go watch her content on her channel. But I thought for some of you guys this might be a good introduction. I like to promote other pro-white content creators. So let's add her to the stage and give it a watch for a little bit.
When we compare and contrast European and American culture, we are met with a very stark contrast. America is a very individualist nation. We're also a very open society, which is why we are very tolerant. We're very welcoming. We're very sweet people. This has also led to a bit of our downfall. It's made us to be too welcoming to, let's say, newcomers. It's allowed the newcomers to come in and take over the house. So let's learn today a little bit from Europa, the old world country defined by collectivism, adherence to traditional systems and values and traditions. They have also a very high respect for hierarchy, something that we don't have in American culture. In American society, in fact, the common has been uplifted, and the successful and the exceptional has been looked down on and scoffed. This is something that I think has been a very big contributing factor as to why America is in this form of decay right now. We're watching our nation collapse. We're watching our people collapse because we don't have a sense of community. But this kind of mindset has, again, led to our downfall. That's why the lowest of the low have now been elevated to influence and permeate our culture. Hip-hop, for example, has absolutely dominated the cultural scene. It's influenced our fashion sense, it's influenced our music taste, and influences our life and our respect for not only ourselves, but our collective interest as a nation. And you see that this has not served us well at all. When there's no unity and no order.
I will say I didn't have a chance to watch the whole thing yet, but she just did an episode with Lana Lodkeff. I know I just horribly butchered it. I think I did. I don't know. I'm just ignore me for a moment. But they were dogging on Tom McDonald, and like I get it, but guys, like you can't judge him from the lens of politics. He is about ideology, not about and like I know he says a lot, like he's not, Tom McDonald doesn't claim to be like a white nationalist. So like I feel like judging him from the lens of like he knows about white identity politics and he's willing to advocate for white people. That's definitely true, but he's still, you know, like.
And also, isn't rap like if you look at the roots of rap, correct me if I'm wrong, I could just be completely off base here, but isn't the roots of rap like actually technically European?
Yeah, it's Vikings had, and I wish I remembered what the word was for it. I'm going to call it pregnancy brain moment, but Vikings used to like rap battle. It was like a it was like a verbal diss battle thing back and forth. It was like considered musical. So like you know, the idea that
and jazz
you know, like
too.
there's I'm, you know, I run into the same problem talking to right-wing people and people who are further right than right about stuff like weed too. They get lost in like the hippity hop and the yo and the jogger. We're on YouTube, so we gotta.
It's
so they get lost in the ghetto culture of it all, and they throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, same thing with dreadlocks. Dreadlocks are
yeah, exactly. Well, I
European.
mean, I just think they're gross, but like
Sure.
to say that we are not allowed to have them because you're white is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Because you're very much right. There are roots that supersede Black people by a significant margin. Am I allowed to just say Black people? I keep saying it. I should probably look that up. So I get the criticisms of Tom McDonald, but like that's like. What's a non-retarded way to explain this to people? That's like criticizing I don't know, somebody who's not a fucking chef, you know, for like not being, you know, not knowing what knife to use. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just so in a lot of ways it's off base. He doesn't claim to be a Republican. He has openly said many times he denounces both parties. He thinks the two-party system is bullshit. But he's like, if we're going to talk about, like, I think there should be no immigration for the foreseeable future. But Tom McDonald is the perfect example. He was an immigrant. He came here for a better life and to make a better life for his family.
From Canada.
He followed his dreams, pursuing the American way. And in that, he was able to achieve great success. And he uses that success to celebrate the ideology of America and he's given hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to veterans. Like, it's not like he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do MAGA rap. Like, he's not a MAGA rapist, and he wasn't Bryson Gray, who like basically made that his entire thing for a while. Like, he just was like, you know, his first big thing was white identity. That was one of the big ones where it was like, holy shit, like, I'm treated like shit because I'm a white guy who raps. Like, I should be able to do what I want. And then that progressed into freedom of speech, freedom, Second Amendment. And then that continued on and on and on. And then you have, you know, the more recent stuff, like when the president was almost assassinated. And, excuse me, he wrote the song for Charlie Kirk that was number one on Billboard for a month. So I'm just saying, like, he's literally a white dude who immigrated here from Canada with his girlfriend, also immigrating here, like, works hard, pays taxes, pro-America, pro-white. What are you're gonna lash him because he has face tattoos? He doesn't share our idea. He doesn't share the ideology to that extent. He's not a political person. If there's a Venn diagram, or not a Venn diagram, if there's a pie chart of Tom McDonald's music, there would just be a very small sliver that is like it's like ideology, American ideology and American politics. Very small sliver. The majority of his shit is about other stuff. So it's just like, again, I'm going to shut the fuck up and listen to this video in a second. But it just annoys me because I've also followed his story for so long. It annoys me when people that I respect look at stuff like this and they're just like, ugh, this degenerate Tom McDonald, he's not even American. Come on, man. Cut the man some slack. You know, like, he's not trying to be Nick Fuentes. He's not. Anyway.
In all chaos, you live in a country that we live in today, where the streets are crime-ridden, where it's not safe to ride the trains anymore, and where you don't feel a pride in your country or yourself. So today what I want to do is I want to help the American people and myself, because I've got a lot of work to do as well, trying to make ourselves more presentable so that we will not only respect ourselves, but we can build a new generation of people that instead of looking down on the successful, instead of looking down on the elite, on the aristocratic, we actually inspire to emulate that. Because with aristocracy comes beautiful homes, a sense of order, a sense of heritage, and a sense of respect for yourself and your country. So today, let's get into 10 ways that you can help improve your life, make yourself feel more aristocratic, because the American aristocrat, although beaten down, can still rise again. So I've compiled a list here of our 10 ways that we can improve ourselves, we can reclaim our old world dignity, we can put our collective nationalist interests at hand, and we can help fix this country before it's too late by just fixing ourselves, our bearing, how we speak, how we present ourselves, and how we train the next generation. Number 1, we need to learn to master self-restraint while in public. We can learn how to speak softer, laugh quieter, eat slower, and enjoy our meals as though they are part of a ritual of a beautiful tradition that's been passed down for generations and generations, rather than just a means to an end. I'm hungry, so thus I eat. I'm kind of peckish, so now I'm going to get a snack. This is no good. Another thing you want to work on is let's not broadcast our emotions on social media. Now, if you follow me on X, you'll see that I am very vocal there. But I'm going to try to tone that down, because is that serving my best interest, or is that just self-indulgent? Is that just me being like in the heat of the moment, in the passion of the moment, putting out something that I might regret later?
I agree with this second one.
This is not a good sign of class, and it's going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt you in the long run. The aristocrat is defined by their means of subtle insinuation, plausible deniability, and always saying things in an indirect way. As opposed to Americans who are very direct, loud, and bombastic. There's nothing.
I have something to say about this real quick. I'll be really fast. Don't when you're bombastic and when you're loud and proud, you box yourself into a corner. And the plausible deniability is a beautiful thing, because people come after you and you're like, what did I say? Like, I didn't say a thing. Because people,
you know who is a master of plausible deniability is Ann Coulter. She is a ninja.
Yeah. I've that's kind of been my general way. If someone did a deep dive on my social media, I'm very infrequently going on some rant. I've done it once or twice, but whatever.
The further back you go in my internet history, the more embarrassing it is.
Yeah, if you were to go back like 15 years, I'm like arguing with people about stuff, but I've eased off of that big time. And yeah, I don't when you're playing poker, you don't play with your hand being shown, you want to hold some secrets back.
Right.
Left the imagination there. Sometimes you also give too much away. You have to signal superiority by not broadcasting this idea that you're needy or less than. And this is by caging your emotions, keeping your emotions in check, always keeping a calm appearance, always remaining master of your emotions, and never giving away too much. So you speak softly, you laugh quietly, and you enjoy your food slowly, like it's a tradition and a ritual.
I feel like she did that really well when Piers Morgan tried to bait her into saying
you have to dress one step above our station every time.
I'm not getting
You never want to appear at an occasion where you're underdressed. This doesn't present yourself in a position where you would be respected. You want to command respect whenever you walk into a room. And one of the easiest ways to do that is make sure you're always dressed correctly. Instead of showing up in hoodies and a sneaker, or even worse, suits and a sneaker, maybe consider wearing a pair of slacks, a blazer, and a crisp, buttoned-down shirt.
I got a quick comment about this. In my past, I have always despised having to dress nice for this reason or that reason, but primarily because I never looked good in it. Like my dress shirts were all baggy and all this stuff, and that was because I was, a little heavy set. And I've, lost some weight in the last year, and like 50 pounds, and I feel good. And in feeling
Time
good,
to bust out the good wear.
it's time to, now I don't have the nice clothes. I have to acquire nice clothes, but I actually look forward to, slowly accumulating some nice clothes and starting to look nice when I dress. So I'm down with what she's saying about that, but I would kind of preface it with, and maybe she'll get into this later, you got to get healthy too. Like, you can't just look good on the outside. You have to look good on the inside to look good on the outside.
You hear that? If there are any fine clothing companies that are very pro-white, you should consider sponsoring us over here at Warpaint, and we will just wear nothing but your clothes.
Yeah, and health food, specifically from the meat industry.
Oh yes.
All right.
All right.
Ready to get back to it?
Yeah.
For the ladies, you can wear a nice dress. I think women should move more into wearing dresses. They're not only more comfortable, but they're more flattering.
They are. And skirts. Skirts work.
Number 3, we have to work on our dinner table manners. A good way of doing this and cultivating relationships with your family, your neighbors, and your friends is to host weekly or monthly dinner parties. Lots of people in Europe still do this, and this is why they have, again, a strong sense of community. They're not lonely. Americans have a loneliness epidemic. We sit at home, we have me time. This is not how we were designed as human beings, and we can do better than this. If we want a strong society, if we want a cohesive unity within our people, we have to feel like we know each other. We have to feel like we can respond to one another and talk to one another. Despite being a nation of small talk where we can never let any silence adhere us from speaking, yet we seem to be more isolated than ever. So host a dinner party, have nice table napkins, have candles out, and practice impeccable manners. This is going to elevate you, it's going to make you feel better, and it will also influence the people that you invite over. And hopefully we can start a trend of reviving actual dinners and dinner parties again, a tradition that is very prominent in Europe, but sadly has been lost in the United States due to the fast food society and utilitarian means of eating. It's unhealthy, and it's not good for your overall well-being and respect for yourself. Number 4, let's try to cultivate family heirlooms and really get in touch with our heritage. America's a new country, and while Europeans seem to have crests, they have dynasties, they have aristocratic lines, good lineage, and they know their breeding, America doesn't have any of this. It's always out with the old and in with the new, and thus we don't have anything to really hold on to. If you're not in touch with your heritage, if you don't have a strong family structure, how are you supposed to persist in society? This is why Americans in general do not have collective wealth. They've not been able to accumulate family wealth, family resources, and family heirlooms, because it's not seen as anything special in American society. This is why we don't have anything of meaning in our homes. So this is a time when you can get your great-grandmother's silver out and appreciate heirlooms from the past, because this is really what connects you to your country. It's what grounds you. It's what makes you an American. It's what makes you truly a member of this society. And if we...
As somebody who literally just used my grandmother's silver to host Thanksgiving, I thoroughly endorse this.
We have a collective group of people that are in tune with their heritage, in tune with their family, they're strong and they have a sense of loyalty to each other. That will work in the collective as well. If every family starts doing this, then those families will be bonded by that unity that they all share. They all share family heirlooms. They have paintings that's been passed down for generations. They have antique furniture that's been passed down.
Do you guys have any cool antiques?
Yeah, my grandparents, especially my mom's mom, had a lot of nice, pretty antique type stuff that my mom inherited. So I'm sure I'll have run of the mill one day when we're going through my parents' house one day. Um, so yeah, yeah, silverware, little Christmas, you know, villages, and little knick-knacky things, picture frames, all sorts of neat stuff like that. Some of
Right.
it may be worth some money, some of it might be sentimental. Yeah.
Honestly, I think we have a lot of furniture that was passed down from my grandparents. My dad still has it, but the one family heirloom that okay, there's two family heirlooms. One I already have, and one I am getting. The one I already have, my great uncle, who I named my son after, gave me what was already an antique when he bought it. It's like a little jeweled gold cross, from Germany. He bought it as an antique in like the late 1930s.
Wow.
That's like my number one. And number two, we have a jaguar rug that was hunted by like my great grandfather or something. Like, so cool. When I was little, I actually broke the tooth and I tried to put it back in with candle wax. Anyway,
you know what? Go ahead and play the video, but I'm gonna go and get a family heirloom that I got from my grandpa before he died, and I'm gonna show it off and look up and see how much it's worth. But it's something I'm never gonna sell. So I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yes,
and this is something we don't see in American society, but I think it can be very helpful in the long run. Along those same lines, we need to replace consumerism with curation. Again, like I was saying, instead of buying a new piece from IKEA that's going to break in an hour, get a piece from an antique store. Get a piece from a local craftsman. Get a piece that's going to mean something, that's going to be timeless, and that you can pass down to your generations. Like I was saying in the earlier point, we don't really pass things down. Families don't have inheritances to pass on to their future generations. It's every man for himself in this society. And look where it's landed us. It's not a very great place we're in.
Speaking of passing things down to families, I have this oh, I'm gonna have to refocus the camera. Maybe turn this on temporarily. This is a $20 coin from 1904. And
wow.
My grandpa passed this down to me. It's inside of a money clip, and he has engraved on the back his name, Nicholas Jackson, for Charles, and that's carved in on the back. And you can kind of see there's it's hard to see, but there's like little dents on the edge of the metal here, and it's because back in the Great Depression, they were trying to pry this out so that they could the kids were trying to pry it out so they could have some money to spend on food and stuff, but they couldn't because it's in there pretty good. So I got to clean this coin up and all that, but
that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know how much that's worth, but yeah, that's my family heirloom from my grandpa, is this $20 coin in a money clip.
Very cool.
Are fragmented. They're all over the country. They are encouraged to leave the home as soon as possible and start their own thing. And so resources are never collected. Thus, people are very dependent on the system, rather than being interdependent with their family and their community. Point number 6, we need to reclaim our poise and general carriage. Now, this can be done by doing sports that encourage good posture, horseback riding lessons, fencing lessons. I know that's a novelty, but it does occur in the United States still. Taking ballroom dancing. All of these arts not only put you in society that is better, it also helps you make new friends, create new communities, but it helps with your overall poise and posture, because this is extremely important. If you're going into a meeting, to a job interview, or simply meeting with new people, the way you position yourself in society is often gauged by how you position your actual body. Your poise, your gestures, how you move about, how you walk. Do you have confidence? Do you walk well? Do you stand well? Or do you sit there and fidget, which sort of gives away that you are not confident and that you don't have anything to hold on to? The subtlety of confidence and the power of poise is very underestimated in our society. People slouch. People don't stand up with pride because we don't have anything to be proud of. But we can change that, and you can change that by changing the way you present yourself and changing your posture. Number 7, and this is a point that I've always thought in the United States. Each family needs to develop their own code of honor. Loyalty to one another is extremely important. This is what old families in Europe and old families in America that still remain have. You have a sense of loyalty to your collective. You have a sense of loyalty to your family. This is why families who have this sort of honor code last. This is why the aristocracy has lasted. You don't gossip. You don't tell tales. You don't air your dirty laundry. You keep that private because you have a respect for your family. You defend your family's honor. You defend yourself. And a good way of doing this is to write down a list of boundaries you have, of rules you want to stick to, and stick to them aggressively. Do not let anything slide, because that is respect for yourself, that is respect for boundaries, and people will see that you're not a pushover, you're not mean, you're not aggressive, but you will not be trampled upon because you've earned that respect. Because you've curated in yourself a sense of honor, and this sense of honor will overlap into the rest of society.
I think honor is a really key thing here that is missing from society at large. What do you think?
Yeah, honor. Yeah, absolutely. People don't care about themselves. They don't take care of themselves. They don't care about their family, don't care about others. Why would we have honor if we don't care about those things?
Yeah, I mean, like, people dress like slobs these days and they call it high fashion. And I mean, even I didn't watch it because I just I have enough brain rot stuff that I enjoy. I just can't take an Oprah. But there was that Oprah episode recently about
Oprah's still airing episodes?
Yeah, she has her own network still, I'm pretty sure. But I did see clips circulating of people. She did a whole episode of people who have gone no contact with their family. And they're like so smugly proud of it. And it's just like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's sad.
Real quick, I just looked it up. I'm not ever selling this, but this 1904 coin must be like a limited edition because if it were in good condition, I'm sure this specific coin isn't worth the same, but it's like over $5,000 if it's in good condition. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I live in a country where handshakes meant something, where your word of honor meant something. When you said, yes, this is what I'm going to do, you would show up and do that. So even if it's an inconvenience to you, don't break your word and have a sense of honor. Number 8, speak and write with precision and eloquence. This can be done by reading a lot. If you read books from the 19th century, this is going to help elevate your speech, especially if you read them aloud. It'll help retrain your ear. Since we've been influenced by the lowest of the low and the worst common denominators of our culture, we've also began speaking like them. We've begun to speak in a very common, coarse way. This is influenced by our music, by the media we watch, and by, frankly, the art, the fashion, and the culture of our society, which again has been influenced by the lowest common denominator. You can do this by writing letters instead of always texting people or sending an email. Everyone loves to get a letter in the mail. It not only helps you with your own handwriting, but it helps you with articulating what you want to say in a well-meaning way. It's also a very polite thing to do if you've been invited to a dinner, if you've been invited anywhere, if somebody's done you a good deed. A nice way of repaying that is by sending a handwritten letter on good paper, good sturdy paper. This is an art that we've lost in America, and if we could reclaim this again, It'll not only help you to speak well, but it'll also help you articulate your points clearer and in a way that conveys your actual thoughts to people.
You know, I agreed to have a German pen pal like 6 months ago. I still haven't written one letter. I just feel like this is like this whole thing is like, Kim, this is how you're fucking up. I know it's not, but like it sort of is.
Number 9, build and protect local institutions. So this could mean joining a local gun club, a historical society, any sort of club. It's a good thing to be invested in local institutions. Institutional power is extremely valuable.
Local
if you want
D&D
to change
group.
policy, if you want to change the culture, and you want to change
Nationwide
politics,
D&D in my life.
you infiltrate society. You infiltrate the institutions. Or you start your own institutions. We don't really know much about our history in America. It's been either intentionally suppressed or simply willfully ignored. And this is wrong. If you want to be proud of your country, if you want to be proud of your heritage, and you want the collective interest to be intent on preserving that heritage and preserving that culture and preserving your country, you have to make sure that people know their history. Look into your genealogy. Look into your family history and be proud of it. And if you're not proud of it, change it. This is an important one. We have to put our collective survival over our own personal convenience. Again, like I was saying, something that defines American culture is the fact that we are very individualistic. But I think we need to start being a little bit more collectivistic, because if you haven't noticed, everyone else is except for us. And whose culture is being replaced and whose culture is being lost? Well, it's ours, because we think as an individual rather than a unit, rather than a united force, a united front. We have to start supporting policies that actually favor Americans, whether it's in housing, finance, laws, things like that. If it supports legacy Americans, and I think you know what I mean when I say legacy Americans, those are the policies you should be voting for. Even though it may have consequences for you in the short term, we have to start thinking more long term about these things. When it comes to hiring and firing people, give priority to your countrymen. Give priority to legacy Americans. Why would you choose cheap labor over your own interest? Why would you choose cheap labor over your countrymen? This is a way that may affect you in the short term. You may not make as many profits, but in the long term, it's going to help with that collective interest. And it's going to help you build that strong nation that cannot just be taken over by the first person who tries to come along and do that. Stream music. Listen to classical music. Sit quietly and listen to that and ponder and think about your country and think about what you want to see your country become. We can't always be progressives. We don't always want to embrace the brand new thing, because generally the brand new thing is never as good as the old. So I think tapping into our old world traditions and remembering who we truly are is a very important way of rebuilding the culture that we are about to lose, because we are losing it very quickly. With that being said, if you do consistently employ these 10 steps, it's going to affect your life in a positive way. You're going to garner respect when you walk into a room. Your ancestors will be proud of you, and that's something we have to think of. We can't always just think about ourselves. We have to also think about, would this make my ancestors who built this country proud? And how is this going to impact future generations? I don't think we think enough about our future generations, and that's why we've lost our society and our culture, because we've raised children in homes thinking that our heritage doesn't matter. Throw away the family land, sell it off, it doesn't matter. Throw away family heirlooms, that's just gross. We gotta get away from that mindset and start thinking more as a collective rather than as an individual. This individualist mindset has been a double-edged sword. While it built us into a resilient nation, while it built this great country, it also made us not really care about the future generations. It made us not care about the unity and the general overall health of our nation. We have to start thinking as a nation, as a people, as opposed to a selfish, self-indulgent person. And those are my 10 tips for how you can make yourself more of an American aristocrat. We shouldn't be looking down on that. We should look on that with reverence. We should look on hierarchy as something that's earned, that's respectable. I think we give away our respect too freely. I think respect needs to be earned. And I think people need to start earning our respect again. But if you want people to respect you, if you want to command respect, and if you want your nation to be globally respected again, it starts at home, it starts with you, and it starts by implementing things that is going to elevate you and make you more of a person that is worthy of the ancestors that died and sweated for this land that you live on now.
That was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, she forgot one big giant thing though that I think goes in front of most of those things, and that's
Freddie, her name is Lily Gaddis.
Yeah, Lily.
The Lily Gaddis
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Yeah. Get healthy. Change your diet.
Health.
Stop eating crap food. Stop going out to fast food.
Respect yourself enough to not feed
Exactly.
yourself poison.
And there's multiple reasons why this goes before most of the things.
I think it goes hand in hand with respecting yourself.
Oh yeah. A bad diet affects your thought. It affects your motivation. It affects your how you present yourself, how you look. It affects everything. It affects your sleep. It's going to affect you negatively no matter what. Can't get around that. And you trying to do all those other things while you're a bloat monger is gonna or just generally unhealthy because of what you eat, even if you're not really big. You're going to be at a huge disadvantage in more ways than one. Get yourself healthy, eat right. And if you ask me, that means a meat-centric diet.
I think that's right. I think that's 100% right. All right. This is where we wrap up here for now. Charles, do you have anything to say before I switch over to Rumble exclusive?
No, enjoy your book reading. I'm not prepared yet to join in the classics of book reading. So I'll let you do that.
All right. So again, thank you guys very much for tuning in. This has been Warpaint. I know the name of my own show, guys. I swear to God. This has been a really fun edition of Warpaint. We're going to go offline. I'm going to put the handle up on the screen so that you guys can follow over at the War Boys on Rumble. This is where this live will be cut off everywhere else. So make sure you're over there at Rumble, the War Boys, because we are going to be reading a little bit of Uncle Addie's The Essential Mein Kampf. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see you over there in a few minutes. This has been Warpaint. I hope that you wore it well. I'm gonna do.